Okay, we're live. This is Attorney Vincent Davis, and this is The Secret, How to Fight CPS and Win. I'm joined by my co-host this morning, Ms. Cassandra Woodard. Ms. Woodard, how are you?
I'm good.
It seems like it's sunny where you are, and a lot of the country is having, bad spells. I've gotten some pictures and videos from people being snowed in. How's the
Oh
weather where
yeah,
you are?
it was like that, but where I live, it's like it will rain and pass really fast, and now it's just really windy again.
No snow, huh?
We got like a little, but it didn't stick. So
Mm, okay.
it goes
So,
right over the past us and then goes to the next town over and the Cajon Pass and all that.
so somebody sent me a video yesterday of them opening their front door, and there was snow eye level.
Wow.
And I asked them. I said, "Did you plan for this? Did you get food and water and things like that?" And although they said yes, but not that much, another person in the same predicament told me that they had food and water to last 2 weeks. They have been through this a few times, and whenever there's a really bad storm and a snow dump like that, they plan on not going anyplace because they can't. They can't even get out of their front door.
That was in California?
Yeah, yeah, not too far from you, as a matter of fact,
Oh, okay.
in the mountains.
Yeah. Yeah, my
Yeah,
sister was wanting to go up there and she can't right now because
yeah, you can't get
it's
up there.
closed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yosemite National Park. I had some friends that were going on a trip there. Is closed because of the
Wow.
snow.
Yeah. I'm kind of upset that I didn't get any snow, like actual snow.
Today here where I live in Arcadia, it rained almost all day and night yesterday, but the sun is out right now, and the skies are blue. But it was, I don't know what it is right now, but 2 hours ago it was 36 degrees. That's 4 degrees from freezing, and
Yeah.
it's unheard of in this part of California. 36
Yeah.
degrees.
It's 42 here right now,
Uh huh.
and it's sunny, and there's like little tiny clouds, but not a lot. And it rained like last night, like a lot. And now this morning it's all blue and sunny and
You
but
know,
windy.
the one good thing about this, I guess, it's going to help the drought here in California.
Yeah.
All this snow, all this rain.
Mhm.
Hopefully, I don't know if you know this, but it's been several years, but we're in a severe drought.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's going on in life? We were supposed to have a guest from Pennsylvania, and I think we might have had a problem on the time. I think when the producer told this guest 9:30, I think the guest thought it was 9:30 Pennsylvania time, not 9:30 California time. 3 hour difference. You
Yeah.
know, when
Yeah, I
she
used to
was
live up there.
when she was waiting for the Zoom to start, I was still asleep probably. Used
Yeah,
to
I'm sure I was
used
too.
you used to live in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, when
Oh,
I
I
was a
didn't.
kid.
Oh, I didn't know that. What city?
Springboro.
Okay. Do you know? I'm trying to think of the city she was from. There was a lawyer that used to work for me for a very long time, and she was from Pennsylvania originally, and she came out to California, I think, because of a guy. They ended up getting married, but she stayed here in California, and she was from Pennsylvania.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I dislike the snow a lot. But I wish that we actually got some snow here. It would have been fun for like a little while. But
Right. So
I
since
really
we're
don't care for snow.
guestless this morning, we can talk about some current events, and anybody watching can post some what do you call it? Some questions, and if anybody wants to jump on the stream with us, I didn't know this, but I can simply send out an invite from the control board. I just learned that the other day.
Oh,
So if anybody watching wants to be a guest, go ahead and I'll email you an invite and you can jump on the stream with us right now. What's been occupying your time on the news, or your thoughts on the news?
just the weather, which we already talked about. I haven't really seen a lot of things on the news lately, just worrying about the weather since I was trying to make it to my court date just in case something happened like that. So I just watching the weather and then,
Oh, now tell me, did you make it or did you go online?
it was over a phone call.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you finally got in touch with Elizabeth?
Yes.
Okay.
And she did amazing. And I'm very happy.
Good, good. You know, I don't know if I ever told you this. I've known Elizabeth probably 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and she was a court-appointed attorney, and during this time, at the beginning, I don't know if I was still a court-appointed attorney, but I used to do cases against her and with her, and she worked there for years, and then decided to leave and came to work with us. And she is amazing. I remember a few weeks ago, someone with a very difficult case called me up and complimented me on what a great job Elizabeth did for him in this
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, she
And
did a really good job this time. Made a really good argument and it was really good. I'm happy.
good, good, good. Were the kids there?
No.
No.
They don't really choose to go, and then they get told that they don't have to. So last court date they were, though, but this one, no.
Okay, Robin Shepard, who's watching on YouTube, says, "What are we doing here?" That's a very good question, Robin. We were supposed to have a guest this morning to be on the show, and the guest is not here. I'm not sure why. But Robin, if you want to come on, give me your email and I will shoot you a invite, and you can come on, tell your story, ask your questions, or you can just post your questions in the chat box there on YouTube or on any platform. I think we're streaming to 8 different social media platforms. So go ahead and post your questions. I was thinking about something. Have you ever attended a march regarding CPS?
No, I haven't.
There's a movement on that. There's going to be a march. I don't know if it's every first Tuesday or every first Friday of every month in the state capitals across the country to try to bring awareness to the needed change for parents and families who are involved in CPS courts, the numbers are substantial, right? I mean, it's hundreds of thousands of people nationwide. I saw a statistic that nationwide that there was almost 1 million foster children. That's incredible. And imagine, there are families, at least 2 parents involved in each case, and there's siblings and there's relatives. I mean, the numbers just start to geometrically increase. So, I mean, do you think that's a good idea? The monthly marches on state capitals?
Yeah, but the state capital where I'm at, you know how far away that is?
I know, right?
It's like 9 hours away.
That's driving, right?
Yeah, driving.
It's an hour and 15 minutes on the flight Southwest.
Well, I don't like planes.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I hate flying. I flown once, and I hated it.
Really? That's
Yeah,
interesting.
I flew from Indiana to Vegas.
Missouri, Vegas, Las Vegas. Did you gamble?
What was that?
Do you gamble?
Oh, not that time.
Oh, you've been to Vegas more than once?
Yeah, well, I live pretty close to it, so.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So how many minutes or hours will it take you to drive if you left right now to Vegas?
Like 2?
Still that long?
Yeah,
Huh.
like 2.
I thought you were closer than that. Do you have a
No.
favorite do you have a favorite hotel or casino you go to?
Um, I like the Stratosphere.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, on social media, there are a couple people that post reviews about, everything Vegas or what to do in Vegas, something like that. And do you know that the Stratosphere is does not get good reviews? I've never been,
Really?
so I don't know. Yeah, but it does not get good reviews. As a
Well,
matter of fact,
I want to go jump off of it. They
there
have
are
that they have that bungee jumping thing. It sounds fun.
right there are even quote unquote movements to have it torn down and rebuilt. Who was the guy that built the Stratosphere? I forget his name. I read a story about him, how he built up that business, that particular hotel casino.
I
He, he-
I don't
Bob
know.
was his name Bob Stoops or something like that. I forget the guy who developed it, but
Yeah, I
he
don't know.
he had an ingenious marketing plan to build up that business, and it worked. I don't know how the casino or hotel are doing now, but yeah. Look, we have a message from Tally Rokos. Tally, it says, please help. Miss G, please help. Message me or Tina Smith. Okay, Tally, we will relay that message on to Miss G. Okay, I hope she knows who you are and how to get in touch with you. If not, you can always email Miss G at this email address. I'll put it in the comments. So I just put her email in the comments, and you can email her directly. Apparently, she's talked to you before, and so um, maybe you can contact her. She may be busy today. Today's a family day for her, so I don't know if she'll be checking any messages or anything. It may not be until tomorrow. Okay. Anyway, um, Robin says, I'm from Vegas. Are you there now, Robin? Are you in Vegas? Are you near
I
Las
think
Vegas?
it says she lives in Shady Cove, Oregon now.
Oh, Oregon now. Shady. There's a lot of snow up in Oregon. I did a case in Bend a couple of years ago, Bend, Oregon, and I just got a message from someone up there that I think it's like 4 degrees. 40.
Wow.
It's 42 where you are, but there it was like 4 degrees.
Yeah, that's
Can you even
I'm good.
imagine? You can't even go
No.
outside, can you?
Yeah, no. I would not get caught dead outside in 4-degree weather.
When you
I live
don't.
in the desert. I'm used to it being hot.
So, do you like living in the desert?
Well, I've lived here most of my life, so you know, it. I guess it's what I'm used to.
Hmm.
So,
Well, nobody's posting any questions this morning. I guess nobody has any questions. Oh, here's that comment. Tally says, "What state is she in?" Okay, Cassandra is in California, like me. I have rallies at the Minnesota Capitol on the 18th of every month, and I think that's what I was referring to, Cassandra. They have these rallies, and they're trying to bring awareness. It's difficult, when you're in a big state like California to get to the Capitol, especially if you don't fly. Let me see if there are any other questions. Did you have any questions you wanted to ask me from your court appearance the other day?
um, Actually, no, because how good everything is going, I don't really have questions.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that everything's going well.
Yeah, it really is. A
Do you
lot more
think?
stuff is a lot more
Let me
stuff is coming to light, you know?
let me ask you something. Now you have an attorney, Elizabeth, from my office helping you, and you
Hmm.
had a court-appointed attorney. Is there any difference, or is everything would have fallen out the same way?
It there no, there's definitely not something that would have followed out the same way. It's very much better with Elizabeth than it was with my court appointed attorney. Because if I had my court appointed attorney still, I'm pretty sure the judge wouldn't be enlightened on a lot of stuff right now.
Oh, and Elizabeth, she just throw it out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they kind of got upset about it, but she played it out pretty good.
yeah.
So I'm
That's
glad
that.
about that.
You know, one of the things over all of the years that I knew her, before she started working with me, is that she would throw it out there, you know, and expose it all.
Yeah,
Um, so I always admired her for that. She doesn't care what other people think or, what they might do
yeah,
to her in the next case. She's just going to do it. She's going to fight.
yeah.
A few months ago, we had a client. Well, we have a client who I came up with what I thought was a brilliant strategy. And the day before the hearing, Elizabeth texts me and says, I don't like your strategy. I'm like, "Well, what do you mean you don't like my strategy? I'm kind of the boss, right?" And she says, "I
Hmm.
don't like your strategy." And she told me why. And I started thinking about it. And I thought, she could be right about this. So I text her back. I said, "Look, Elizabeth, I, I'm going to defer to you. You've talked to the client a lot. Um, Go for it. Implement your strategy." That afternoon, after the case was over, the client texts me and says, "I'm so glad Elizabeth is on this case and she did so great." And I was kind of like, "Well, nobody likes my strategies anymore." But she has that sense because she has so much experience, right? You can't train experience,
Yeah.
right? Experience in the law, experience in the courtroom, experience with social workers, experience with county council, experience with the judges. You just can't train that. I'm involved in a friend has a legal case going on, and they actually hired me to be a consultant on the case. And the actual attorney in the courtroom called me recently. Now she doesn't know who I am or what I am, and she starts berating me about my consultation. And she starts off with saying to me, "I have 20 years of experience, blah, 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 blah." Right.
Hmm.
And, I've done many of these cases, blah, 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 blah. And, when she finished, I said, "Well, yeah, I understand. It sounds like, you're very experienced, blah, blah, blah. But by the way, I have 37 years of experience. And this is what I found, you know, and what I believe." Now, reasonable minds can differ, right? You're in the
Hmm.
courtroom, I'm not. But, you just can't. And after that, when I said 37, she was like, you know, "Oh, okay, let me shut up." The experience is so important. So
Yeah.
important. I did a case in, was it Thursday or Friday? I did a case in a Northern California county, and it was my first appearance. And I had gotten appearance to appear online, or actually on the phone, and I was substituting into the case. And the judge says to me, courtroom, all the attorneys are there. Judge says to me, "Now, Mr. Davis, what's your experience in juvenile dependency cases?" Right? Because in California, the rule is you're not supposed to represent a party unless you have so much experience or education. That's
Hmm.
that's an unusual rule. because I don't think they have that in any other type of case. Maybe in patent law, they have some requirements of education experience. But anyway, I, you know, I give my oral resume, and it was kind of silent there for a second. But I'm on the phone. I don't know what's going on. But after my client calls me and she goes, "You know what, Mr. Davis, they were all blown away." I go, "What do you mean?" She said, "They had no idea that I found somebody with such experience like you." And I was kind of chuckling because while I was giving the resume, at some point I took a breath and the judge jumped in like and cut me off like, "Okay, that's enough. You know, let's move on to the next topic." So yeah, but Elizabeth does have a lot of experience. Here's a
Yeah,
here's a question. Oops, I took it down. What's the shortest case you've ever encountered? Well, actual case that was filed, the shortest case was the first hearing, it was dismissed. Very rare, but that's the shortest case.
and
The
that's
social
because they got you right away, right?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, it was a social worker who was not experienced, talking about experience, and had alleged something that wasn't even child abuse. Not even
Well,
something
that
that
would do
was
it.
nothing that was not even a risk to the child. And so the judge called the case. We argued for a minute, and I made a motion to dismiss, and the judge said, "Yeah, I agree. This is not child abuse. This case shouldn't be here." Every case involving a child isn't child abuse and shouldn't end up in the juvenile dependency or CPS system. Now,
Yeah,
a lot of social workers think differently, but the law's the law.
yeah. And I that's one of the classes that, remember how I say I take classes and stuff that I find online for like attorneys, social workers, and judges. There's like this website, and I took the class and I got a certificate for it, but it tells you the difference between an unsafe or safe situation and how they go about seeing that, and if there should be a case plan or a safety plan in it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. So, and it's crazy because of the tests that it gives you. It asks you like, what do you think is safe and unsafe for the child? And then at one of them, I actually was just going off, like how I thought, and I was wrong, and the child was technically safe. So it gave me insight on how things work with this.
Right. It reminds me of a case. This was many, many, many years ago. I did a case, and the social worker testified that she wasn't recommending giving the child to my client because he was quote unquote weird. And to be honest, he was a different kind of guy. The judge gave him the child back and said to the social worker and everybody in the courtroom, "Look, this guy may be weird or strange, but he's extra cautious about the safety of the child." Who was almost consumed with the child's safety. And
Hmm.
and the judge opined that didn't cause a problem, that should keep the child away from him. And I would agree. I mean, I represented the guy, but look, I mean, everybody's not the same, right? And
Yeah,
just because they have a child and they're a little different from you and me, that doesn't mean we should take their kid away. You know, a long time ago, they used to take away kids or try to take away kids from people who wanted to homeschool. Now, this is something legal. And I
yeah.
still, and then depending on what county I'm in, I still get a lot of flack from people like, "Oh, she homeschools the kids." Like, you know, like that's
Do you
some
know
type
how
of crime.
dangerous the schools are nowadays, though?
Right. That's what I always think
Ex-
about. Because I'm
Especially, like, you should. Oh my gosh, there was a bomb threat at one of the schools here in my town, and instead of evacuating the kids, they locked them down. I don't get how that makes any sense, because when there's a bomb threat, you're supposed to evacuate, and when there's like a gun threat, you're supposed to lock down.
right.
And they didn't. They
Yeah.
kept the kids there. And then another school in my town, a teacher got beat up by students. And this is a small town.
Right.
And I'm like, what makes you think my kids actually want to go to this kind of school?
Right. You know, um, I've had some friends and people that have that I know that have worked in the school system, and it's not a safe place. It's almost like hazardous pay compensation. I mean, some of these teachers really fear for their life. Some of these students really feel for their fear for their safety.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. We have a comment from Love Oneself watching on YouTube. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe and like the channel, please. Helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Love Oneself says, does every case have two workers, one for the parent and one for the child in every case? Love Oneself, I would tell you that the answer to that is no. However, it varies from state to state, county to county. For example, in Los Angeles County, you have what they call an emergency response worker. Then you have what is called a social worker who provides reunification services. Then you have a dependency investigator who does the actual quote unquote investigation and writes the jurisdiction and disposition report for the judge. So, and I remember one time in your county, Cassandra, they only had one, they were losing a lot of workers for a variety of reasons, and they only had one worker per case. They did it all.
Yeah. That's
They did.
how I think that's how it is right now.
Oh, is it? Your
Uh-huh.
county went through some financial hard times, and a lot of people left because they were offered more money by Riverside County. So a lot of people just left. They got more money.
Yeah, I think that's still what's going on right now. I read an article about it not too long ago that that's what's going on, and then I heard from some people that were workers at this building here in my town, at the county building here in my town, and they said that they talked to some of their worker friends that they have, and they said, yeah, that's what's going on still.
Yeah,
So they're like really understaffed here at this county building here in my town.
that's interesting because they're still getting that federal money.
Yep.
Love
But there's
oneself.
there's like we're overstaffed and overworked and yeah.
Love oneself. Does every case have two? Oh, I already read that one. Because those questions are usually common sense. People should actually know what is what, safe and unsafe for the child. Oh, love oneself.
You
You are so
yeah, you
mistaken
would
about
be
that.
surprised.
Common
Yeah.
sense has very little to do with the law, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would be surprised on what they say is safe and unsafe. I'm telling you, like I got some of those questions wrong, thinking that the child would be unsafe, and they were actually safe. And I'm like, whoa, like it shocked me.
Love oneself says, like hot and cold. Now, you would hope that that were the case, but it's not.
Mhm.
And I'm not trying to be funny. It's just not. Sometimes cold is hot and hot is cold in the law. Love oneself, you're watching on YouTube. So, what I want you to do after this stream, I want you to search on my page, What is Justice? There's two videos that I did called What is Justice. One of them, I'm standing in front of a whiteboard. It's about 7+ minutes long. Look at that video because it's gonna teach you something about justice in CPS cases. It's not what you think. It's not what you think at all. So I try to play that for people that I trying to explain the system because everyone thinks it's just common sense and it's not common sense. And that's where people get so frustrated, and bent out of shape. And one of the hardest things that I try to explain to people is, you know, to win a case and to deal in a case, there's so much stuff that you don't know. You just don't know. You don't know.
Yeah.
So it says, at which point are you allowed to file the JV 820 and 825? What form is that? JV 820? Is that the 388?
No,
What is the JV 820?
I don't know, but JV 180 is the 388, I believe.
Oh, JV 820 is the notice of intent to file a writ. Now, let me tell you something, Susan Carter, watching on YouTube. You have to file that within a certain amount of time after the court terminates your reunification services, or the court doesn't offer you reunification services at the disposition hearing. Susan Carter, it is extremely important that you talk to your lawyer about this. Okay. And it is your only way to file an appeal, a type of an appeal, after your rights have been terminated. Your, not rights, but your family reunification services have been terminated. So that is extremely important. I've talked to a lot of people over the period of time since this has been the law in California, because it always wasn't the law. But since it's been the law, a lot of people missed the deadline for filing their 820, their JV 820. So don't you miss that. And if you ask me the number of days, I don't know for sure, but I think it's 7 days. You just have a very short period of time. Typical appeals are 60 days, right? But this isn't a typical appeal. This is a special type of appeal called a writ. And it's a writ on one issue, and that's the termination of your family reunification services. So get with your attorney.
Yeah.
Love.
See, I think that's a show we should probably do or talk about is timelines on certain papers or
Oh,
certain things you got to file.
someone told me a long time ago that they weren't really interested in the law. Me
Yeah,
explaining the
but
law.
like when it comes to timelines, like I feel like that would be a good show, but you're
Okay.
right.
Well, no,
Yeah.
let's do it. I mean, it'll help some people, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Love oneself says, like the definition of emotional abuse and physical abuse, emotional neglect for physical neglect. Okay, I wasn't. Cassandra, can you interpret that for me?
Uh,
I'm not sure what that means.
well, neglect is one thing and abuse is one thing.
Yeah.
You know, either if it's emotional, physical, or emotional, physical on either one, it's still one or the other.
Right. 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 I'm thinking about your show on the timelines. When would you like to do that?
Mm, whenever you're ready, you're the one that's going to be giving the advice. I can't do that.
Should we ask our boss, GT, Miss G?
Um, yeah, is she your boss now? Because if so, I wasn't informed.
You always knew Miss G was the boss. You knew that.
Yeah, she is.
All right. Doesn't look like we have any more questions this morning, so we can cut the show and let everybody get on with this beautiful Sunday. Hopefully it's not snowing where you are or too cold to go outside. All right, Miss Woodard, thank you for joining me, and we'll see
Hmm.
everyone tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. The show comes on 7 p.m. Hopefully we'll get this guest situation straightened out. I'll talk to Grace.
And we're going to start our show this Thursday, 1 o'clock.
Whatever.
I'm serious. This Thursday, 1 o'clock.
Yesterday Miss G and I were texting back and forth, and she said that you guys were going on TikTok or something like that. I said, I never heard of that. Is that true?
I don't know if we're going to be going on TikTok, but I know we're going to be doing the show.
Yeah,
We're shooting for.
right. She told me something about the show being, you guys starting up the show again. But she also mentioned something about TikTok.
Yeah, because I was telling her TikTok is a place where we would be able to get the show out more because nobody watches or does Facebook anymore unless you're a soccer mom or, I don't know. That's what my kids told me. They're like, only soccer moms use Facebook.
I want to tell you something funny because I don't really know that much about TikTok, but I've been, watching it. There's a guy on TikTok that used to work for me. I
Oh,
won't say
really?
his name. Yeah, he used to work for me. He left and started his own firm, and he's now changing jobs. He's going to work at another job doing non CPS cases. And he called me up one day and he said, "Hey, Mr. Davis, I'd like to refer all of my TikTok referrals to you." And I should, I'm thinking, what do you have, like one or two a week, maybe? And I can't tell you the number, but it was huge.
Yeah.
And I watched one of his TikTok videos, and they were always set to rap music, and he was always pointing, and the bubble would appear with a saying, and then he would point over here, a bubble would appear. I mean, it was incredible. And I said, "Where did you learn how to do that?" He says, "Oh, I just would watch." He says, "I watched a lot of TikTok, and I just decided to do it my own." He says it's a lot of editing and what do you call it? Inserting text into the video, but
Yeah, it is.
they were highly, persuasive, and apparently he was getting a lot of, um, people calling him. I remember I had a client who had just hired me, and I asked her one time. I said, this is about 3 or 4 months ago. I asked her, "How did you find me?" She said, "Oh, I found you on YouTube." I said, "Oh yeah, a lot of people find me on YouTube." She says, "But I almost went with a guy on TikTok." And I said, "Who was this guy?" And she said the name, and I go, "He used to work for me." She said, "But yeah, but he has great TikTok videos." And I looked at it and I
Yeah.
go, "Yeah, yeah, he does
Everybody
have great."
watches TikTok now.
Yeah,
That's what I've been saying. Like, if like TikTok is amazing if you're on the right side of it. Like, you
right,
got to be on the right side of TikTok, because there's
right,
the stupid kind of TikTok that's for kids and it's kind of dumb and it's just dance videos and stupid stuff. And then there's a really educational side of TikTok.
right. There's
I've
a
been to
woman.
TikTok University.
You have? You've been? Is
Yeah,
there such a thing?
I know all about the educational side of TikTok. I
You
see a
know,
lot of videos.
there's a lot of not a lot of. There's a woman that I know. She's a family law lawyer. She doesn't do CPS stuff, but she's on TikTok, and she's maybe 10 years younger than me. But, I'm 64 turning 65. But she's mid-50s and she's on TikTok. And she said that there's a lot of people on TikTok that, you just don't know. She said it's like Facebook was at the beginning, you know.
Yeah.
Nobody was on Facebook. We're like, what's Facebook?
Yeah. And now Facebook is, I guess, for soccer moms. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's what my kids tell me.
Well, my
They're like,
daughter,
Mom, why are you still on Facebook?
my daughter who's 29 doesn't even have a Facebook page anymore.
Yeah.
And when I ask her about it, she just rolls her eyes like, "Come on, Dad, get serious."
It's all about TikTok and Instagram.
Right. She's IG and TikTok.
Yep.
IG and TikTok. Okay.
And
Well, maybe you know what? I told GT this, and I want to tell you this. If we can get our message out effectively on whatever social media platform there is, I don't mind. So if you guys want to do TikTok or want me to do TikTok, just explain it to me. Tell me what to do, and I'll do it.
okay.
All right.
Okay.
I'm just trying. As I told GT, Miss G, we're just trying to get our word out, trying to get, a movement going here. And
Yeah.
I think more and more people are doing that, which is great. There's an attorney that I know who does civil rights cases, does a show on Facebook, I think every day. And it's a great
You
show.
do YouTube shorts, right?
I was doing YouTube shorts. I haven't done them in a while, just because, lazy, don't.
YouTube shorts are just like TikToks.
Oh, really? Well, mine
Yeah.
didn't. My YouTube shorts didn't have any music to them.
Yeah, they don't have to have music to them, but you could add music to them and it's just the same thing.
Well, let me ask you something. If I add, like this attorney I was telling you about, they used to work with me. If you add like a rap song to, or what do they call it? Sample it and add it to your TikTok video, isn't that like a copyright violation?
No, because that's what they offer. They offer all these songs that you could put onto your TikToks, and then everybody has a certain song. And some of the songs go to certain kinds of TikToks, like the rap music he probably had on there. Everybody else has that as their little pointing, like little, you know,
Right,
comment things.
right.
It's like, it's, yeah, people do the same thing. That's what it's about, is they do the same thing, but they have their message out there different.
But are you telling me that TikTok has approved songs you can use on your videos?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't see. I didn't even know that.
And it's tons of songs, like, and different sounds and sounds from other people that did their videos, like you could voice over.
You know, that's interesting you say that because this particular attorney, he came on with this rap song, right? Now, I had happened to hear this song before. Um, I would have never guessed he would have ever heard that song. You know, it's not like something it was like on the radio or something. And I'm thinking to myself, how did he even know about that song? He must be a rap aficionado to know that song. But now you're telling me, oh, TikTok has approved songs already. So that's
Hmm.
how we know about it. Oh, I was giving him too much cred there, right? Brian says TikTok is Chinese owned. What does that mean?
Well, yeah, it's a Chinese corporation, like that's from, but you know,
Chinese
that
as
doesn't
in
matter to me.
the people are Chinese or as in Chinese
They
government?
founded it. They made it.
Who?
The
I mean,
Chinese, it's from like China, like, and it came over to America.
my Vans tennis shoes are from China. Is that what you mean? Something like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, does the Chinese government own it or run it or something?
Yeah, they own it and run it. Like, it's just an app that's from China that got popular in China first and then came here.
Yeah. And this is Chelsea says Chinese
Or a
owned
lot of our
or
apps are.
yeah. That
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. There's a theory, a conspiracy type theory that they are doing this to somehow solely control the thinking of you know, how social media and apps influence what we think and what we do, which is true.
But
Um,
it's not like TikTok is just Chinese and it's not just American.
mhm.
It's all over the world. TikTok is the whole world.
Oh, here's what Brian says: the Chinese government harvests your information.
I don't believe that. That's
But
kind of like,
even if it were true, how? I mean, it's just my name and my probably my mobile number, my email.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not giving them, keys to my
I'm
law
pretty sure
firm.
they've had a lawsuit about privacy issues already
Uh-huh,
also.
uh-huh.
So,
Well, let me ask the audience that's watching. Do all of you look at TikTok, or do you not look at TikTok? Now, apparently, you do, Miss Cassandra, right? But
yeah.
I know, but like I said, my daughter, 29, that's what she does: TikTok and Instagram, IG. But
Mhm.
she also does a lot of YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, here's Brian saying, but they can.
Okay. We don't use our computer. It's not on the computer.
Well,
It's
if
on
you're
our
looking at,
phone.
but yeah, but in a sense, that is a computer. If
Yeah,
we're-
but
right. Brian says Instagram is owned by Meta, same as Facebook. Brian, Brian, there's a movie that turned out to be kind of a cult classic, not very well known, but it's an interesting movie. The backstory, it's called Rollerball. You ever hear that movie, Cassandra?
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is. I've never seen it.
It starred a guy by the name of James Caan. I, I think Mr. Caan is no longer with us. I can't remember, but the backdrop story of the movie was that the world was owned by corporations. And the way they fought, because the theory was that countries always need wars. psychologically, emotionally, economically. That was the theory. And the way these corporations wage war against each other is they had kind of gladiator type dudes that played this game, sometimes to the death, called rollerball,
Mm,
right?
hmm.
So Brian says, read their permissions.
Anyway, in order to get our story out, or our cause, our thing, everybody watches TikTok. Brian, maybe not, but a lot of people do. And it would get our word out of how
Okay.
we wanted to get it out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care who it's owned by or what permissions or whatever. It would get our word out because a lot of people are into TikTok. That's what's happening right now.
Right. That's
You
true.
know?
I would agree with you. And I'm not really a TikTok guy. But I want to learn more about it. So maybe you and I can talk off air about this because, you know, you're going to tell me something that I don't know about. And I'm always interested in learning. Here's Chelsea says, yeah, TikTok is a great platform for spread awareness. And that's what we're
Yeah.
trying to do. That's all we're trying to do, Chelsea. All right. Okay, Miss Woodard, thank you. I mean, we're past the time of the show
Yeah.
ending.
Just a little.
All right. So we will see everyone tomorrow at 7 p.m. On our regularly night live stream. And hopefully we'll have a guest all lined up and confirm that they will be present. All right, everyone, have a good Sunday. Bye-bye.